Hey, warrior of growth, yes, I'm talking directly to you. The one who feels drained, restless, and burned out, not because you're weak, but because your energy is being stolen, scattered, and spent without intention. Let's be brutally honest. Most people today aren't exhausted because they're lifting heavy loads or working 16-hour shifts. They're exhausted because their energy is leaking in 100 different directions. Look around you. People scroll endlessly, comparing themselves to strangers online. They argue about meaningless things, chase after shallow validation, drown in negativity, and cling to relationships that drain more than they give. They collapse into bed tired, yet wake up already anxious. Why? Not because life is impossibly hard, but because their inner energy is constantly misused. Think of a lion. A lion doesn't sprint after every animal it sees. It doesn't waste strength on distractions. It waits. It chooses. It saves its power for the one strike that truly matters, the kill. But you're pouring lion-sized energy into mosquitoes. Tiny, pointless distractions that don't deserve your power. And here's the truth. People think they need more motivation. But what they really need is energy mastery. The Stoics understood this over 2,000 years ago. They knew that the real battle wasn't out there, it was inside. Mastering your emotions, your reactions, your desires, and your thoughts was the only path to lasting strength. Not loud strength, not the kind that screams for attention, but silent strength, the kind of power that keeps you calm when everything around you is falling apart. The kind of presence that makes others wonder, why doesn't this person break down like the rest of us? In this video, we're going to walk through 7 ruthless Stoic rules, rules that will teach you how to master your energy, protect your inner peace, and sharpen your focus. This isn't soft advice. It isn't lofty, untouchable philosophy. It's ancient, raw wisdom, timeless strategies that apply today, maybe even more urgently than ever before. So if you're tired of feeling drained, if you're ready to defend your mental space the way a warrior guards his shield, then listen closely. These aren't just rules. These are weapons, mental weapons you can begin using immediately. Because energy is more valuable than time. You can waste a day and recover, but waste your energy on the wrong people, the wrong thoughts, or the wrong actions, and it can cost you your purpose, your drive, even your future. The Stoics didn't have smartphones or social media, but they had enemies. They faced distractions, injustice, and suffering, yet they trained their minds to remain composed, disciplined, and intentional, no matter the storm. As Epictetus once said, you become what you give your attention to. So ask yourself, honestly, what are you giving your attention to each day? That answer reveals everything, so don't skip a second of this journey. Hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs it. And if you're truly serious about transforming your life, declare it right now in the comments. I master my energy. I master my life, because this is where it begins. And on the very next step, we'll dive straight into the first Stoic rule that will change how you protect your energy forever. Rule number 1. Cut energy vampires without guilt. When someone behaves poorly, that behavior belongs to them, not to you. Don't take it personally. Marcus Aurelius reminded us of this long ago. And the first truth you must face is harsh, but it's also liberating. You cannot master your energy while keeping toxic people close. It's impossible, because no matter how disciplined or focused you are, if you allow energy vampires to stay in your circle, they will drain you, But who exactly are these energy vampires? They're not always the loud, rude, or obvious ones. Often, they're quiet manipulators, the constant complainers, the ones who guilt-trip you, who shrink your confidence, who expect your presence yet never show up with genuine love. They are the people who take and take, but rarely, if ever, give back. Here's the Stoic truth. You owe no one access to your peace. Not out of guilt, not out of shared history, not even out of blood. This is where so many people struggle. They confuse being nice with being weak. They tolerate dysfunction in the name of being good. But goodness without boundaries isn't goodness at all, it's self-destruction. Seneca put it clearly. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. If your circle isn't helping you grow stronger, calmer, and more focused, then you're not surrounded by allies, you're surrounded by distractions. And I know what you might be thinking, but I've known them for years. So let me ask you, are they helping you rise? Or are they keeping you trapped in the same old version of yourself you're trying so hard to escape? The Stoics would be firm. Energy is not infinite. Every single person you allow into your life is either fuel or poison. Cutting someone off doesn't mean hate, it means choosing peace over drama, purpose over pity, and growth over guilt. You don't need to make an announcement. You don't need to justify your silence. You simply create distance with calm detachment and let nature take care of the rest. That's how you begin mastering your energy, not by adding more motivation, but by removing what doesn't belong. And remember this: silence is power. Let them wonder why you're no longer available. Let them feel the absence of your attention. Because right now, you are building something greater. You don't owe explanations. You owe yourself peace. Rule number 2. Control what you feed your mind. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." So let's be honest. Imagine someone sitting beside you all day, whispering toxic words in your ear. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. Everyone else is better than you. You'd call that abuse, wouldn't you? You'd never tolerate it. But what if that voice is your own? And what if it's being shaped every single day by the things you consume? The Stoics knew something we often forget. The mind is like a garden. Whatever seeds you plant, your thoughts, your beliefs, your words, will eventually grow. So if you're constantly feeding your brain with drama, distractions, negativity, and endless noise, should it surprise you when your inner world feels chaotic and drained? Ask yourself, what are you watching every day? What kind of music are you letting into your soul? What accounts do you follow online? Who are the voices shaping your attention? Because these aren't just harmless inputs. They are programming your perception. They are sculpting your emotions. They are teaching your nervous system what normal feels like. And the quality of those inputs is silently deciding the quality of your life. You cannot expect peace if all you're consuming is chaos. This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius meant. Your state of mind is never an accident. It's the result of constant exposure. Picture it like this. You're in the gym working hard to build muscle. But every time you leave, someone secretly injects poison into your body. How long could you possibly last? The same thing happens with your energy. If you constantly feed your mind with junk, gossip, negativity, and endless noise, then of course your spirit will feel weak. But here's the key. It's not about being perfect, robotic, or avoiding life altogether. It's about being intentional. One of the greatest ways to truly master your energy is by curating your inputs. Replace gossip with growth. Replace comparison with contemplation. Replace arguments with understanding. Replace endless scrolling with short moments of meaningful silence. And start small. Each time you're about to click on something mindless, pause for a second and ask yourself, is this fueling my energy or draining it? Over time, you'll notice the difference. Your focus will sharpen. Your thoughts will slow down. Your anxiety will begin to fade. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because your inner environment became cleaner. Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. And yes, that's what it might look like from the outside. You may seem strange to others when you don't keep up with the latest gossip, when you don't dive into online drama, when you refuse to join meaningless debates. But what do you gain in return? Peace, focus, power. That's the trade-off. So protect your mind like a fortress, because what you allow in will eventually flow back out. Rule number 3. Master the art of pausing before reacting. Epictetus said, if someone does wrong, the harm is to themselves. Your duty is to maintain your character. And he was right. Most people don't lose energy because of what happens to them. They lose energy because of how they react. Think about it. Someone cuts them off in traffic, and suddenly they explode. A person doesn't respond to their message, and they spiral into overthinking. One rude comment online and their whole mood collapses. It's not the event itself, it's the reaction that drains their strength. The Stoics understood one thing better than anyone else: the pause. That tiny sacred space between the trigger and your response. Imagine how many arguments, regrets, or emotional breakdowns could be avoided if you paused for just 5 seconds before reacting. Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And make no mistake, this isn't weakness. This is discipline. It's easy to lash out, but it takes true strength to observe, to breathe, to choose a wise response. Why does this matter so much for mastering your energy? Because every emotional reaction is like spending currency. Every time you argue with someone who doesn't deserve your attention, every time you respond to hate with anger, every time you let your peace be hijacked by careless words, you're handing over your energy like cash. Picture your energy as money in your wallet. Would you walk down the street and hand out $100 bills to random people screaming nonsense? Of course not. So why give away your mental energy so freely? Here's a simple practice. When someone disrespects you, pause. Don't respond right away. Take a breath and ask yourself, does this person's opinion change my truth? When life throws chaos your way, pause again. Don't assume it's personal. Instead ask, will this still matter in 5 days, 5 weeks, or 5 years? The real power lies in the pause. The pause buys you time. Time creates clarity, and clarity leads to wise action. That is how you keep your energy intact. But in today's modern world, people are taught the opposite. React fast, click fast, reply fast, get angry fast. The Stoics, however, teach you to slow down, because the slower you are to react, the more powerful your action becomes. This doesn't mean you become numb. It means you are in control of yourself. So next time you feel anger rising, don't try to suppress it. Observe it. Let it pass through you like a wave. Let silence become your strength. And only when you're ready, respond with intention or walk away, keeping the upper hand. That is Stoicism, and that is how true warriors protect the peace within their soul. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My pause is my power. Rule number 4. Be ruthless with your priorities. Marcus Aurelius once said, if you don't have a consistent goal in life, you can't live it in a consistent way. And here's a painful truth. You are not tired because you're doing too much. You are tired because you're doing too many things that don't matter. Most people waste their energy on trivial things, while their true purpose quietly dies in the background. You say yes to tasks you don't care about. You help people who wouldn't lift a finger for you. You scroll on social media for an hour but won't spend even 15 minutes on your goals. This is not a time problem. This is a priority problem. The Stoics believed in clarity of purpose. Know what matters, and cut away what doesn't. Don't live like a leaf blown by the wind, spinning from one thing to the next. Exhausted yet going nowhere. Marcus Aurelius said it clearly. You must build your life action by action. And be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible. The goal is not perfection. The goal is alignment. Start by asking yourself, does this bring me closer to the life I respect? Or pull me further away from it? If it doesn't align with your values, your peace, or your purpose, then it's a distraction, not a duty. You don't owe everyone your time. You don't have to reply instantly. You don't have to join every plan, every call, every conversation. Others may not understand. Let them be confused. You are not here to be understood by the crowd. You are here to master your life. And to do that, you must protect your time like a gatekeeper protects a fortress. Every yes you say is a no to something else. If you say yes to everything, your energy will be stolen by nothing. So here's a simple rule. Every night before going to bed, write down 3 non-negotiable priorities for tomorrow. Just 3, not 10. And when the day begins, guard those 3 as if they are sacred. If you complete them, you've already won. Everything else is just a bonus. This is how you live with intention. This is how you stop being busy and start being truly effective. Seneca warned us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. You don't need more time. You need more focus. So be ruthless with your priorities. Because your energy is a sacred currency. Spend it wisely, or watch your life be spent on things that never really mattered. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I focus only on what truly matters. In the previous part, we learned how to be strict with our priorities so that we don't waste energy on meaningless things. And now, here comes another principle just as powerful. Learn to say no without apology. Epictetus once said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Have you noticed that the reason so many people feel overwhelmed is not because they have too much to do, but because they don't dare to say no? We've been trained to feel guilty whenever we refuse. So you nod and agree even when your heart says otherwise. You accept invitations that only leave you exhausted. You reply to messages not out of joy, but out of obligation. And worst of all, you put other people's comfort above your own mental health. It's time to stop that. One of the most powerful ways to master your energy is to learn to say no firmly, kindly, but without guilt. The Stoics did not live to please everyone. They did not bend to every emotional request. They stood by their principles and allowed others to feel what they needed to feel. Epictetus reminded us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why is that? Because when you live true to yourself, you confuse those who benefit from your silence. When you choose peace over pleasing, You upset those who expect your compliance. But that is the price of energy mastery. You must reclaim your time and dignity without apology. And in practice, you don't need to cushion your refusal with phrases like, "I'm so sorry," "maybe another time," or "I wish I could." All you need is clarity. "No, that doesn't work for me." Or, "No, I'm focusing on something important right now." Sometimes, just a simple "no" is enough. And you know what? The silence after "no" is not rudeness. It is self-respect. Remember, you are teaching people how to treat you by what you allow. If you keep saying yes to things that drain you, others will assume you are always available to be drained. But when you set clear boundaries, when you place your peace and mental health first, when you say no from a place of inner clarity, you send a powerful message. Your energy is not for sale. And here's the beautiful part. The right people will respect you more, while the wrong ones will leave. Both are blessings. So stop over-explaining your boundaries. Start enforcing them. Every time you say no to what doesn't align, you're saying yes to your peace, your goals, your rest, and your future. This is true power, not loud, not dramatic, but steady, grounded, stoic. Don't expect applause, expect resistance, but stand firm anyway. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Do what is right. The rest doesn't matter." So, learn to say no without hesitation, because your future self is begging you to stop betraying yourself today. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My no is a complete sentence. In the previous part, we saw that the morning is the golden time that determines the energy for the entire day. Now, let's go deeper. The Stoics treated the morning as sacred, a ritual. Not a race, not a mindless scroll through screens. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of the Roman Empire, wrote to himself every morning. He didn't do it because he had extra time, clearly. An emperor was busier than anyone else, but because he understood this truth. The soul is dyed with the color of its thoughts. So what does this mean for us? If the very first thought when you wake up is a complaint, if your first action is reaching for your phone, if your first words are reactive and rushed, then you've already given away your most precious energy before you've even claimed it. What's the solution? Create your own morning ritual, calm, stoic, and intentional. It doesn't need to be complicated, it just needs to be conscious. A simple ritual might look like this. No phone for the first 30 minutes. This is non-negotiable. Breathe deeply before you speak. Just 10 slow breaths are enough to bring your mind back under your control. Journal or reflect. Ask yourself, what truly matters today? What will I not allow to control me? Move your body. Even 5 minutes of stretching or walking is enough to awaken both body and mind. Repeat a stoic thought, one quote, one truth. Let it guide your day. You don't need to be perfect, but you do need to be present. It is in this sacred time that you forge the armor for your spirit, deciding who you will be today, not the version the world demands of you, but the best version of yourself. And you will notice a clear difference on the days you protect your morning. You are calmer, stronger, more focused, less reactive, and more intentional. On the other hand, when you allow chaos in from the start, the whole day becomes a battlefield you've entered without armor. That is why you must guard this first hour, because this is where energy leadership begins. The Stoics believed your external world reflects your inner discipline, and if you own your mornings, you will own your life. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My mornings are sacred. I start strong. I stay calm. In the previous part, we talked about stopping the endless need to explain yourself to others. And now, let's take it one step further. The Stoics remind us that you weren't born to be understood by everyone. You were born to walk your path with clarity. Even if that means walking it alone. Think about your own life. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your healing journey. You don't need to justify disappearing just to protect your inner peace. You don't have to convince anyone why you choose to prioritize your energy. As Epictetus once said, first, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That's it. Decide who you are, and then live like it. The moment you stop explaining, you'll be surprised by how much energy you reclaim. Because suddenly, you're no longer wasting strength trying to be understood. You're channeling it into becoming steady, unshakable, and unstoppable. Let others misunderstand your silence. Let them whisper about your focus. Let them laugh at your calm. None of it touches you. You've been forged into something different, as solid as a rock in the middle of the storm. And I want you to affirm this in the comments. I no longer explain my peace. I protect it. Confucius once said, "He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior." So pause with me now. Take a deep breath in, and let it go. Because if you've made it this far, it means only one thing. You're ready to stop living on autopilot. You're ready to step into mastery of your energy, the way the Stoics did. With discipline, with clarity, and with deep self-awareness. Remember this. Life won't slow down for you. The world will keep pulling at you, shouting at you, distracting and tempting you. But now, you're building something stronger. You've realized that energy doesn't come from coffee, from hustle, or from fleeting motivation. Energy is about what you allow in. It's about what you protect with silence. It's about the power to say no without guilt. Look back at what you've already practiced. You cut off the energy vampires. You controlled what entered your mind. You paused before reacting. You became ruthless with your priorities. You said no without apology. You protected your mornings like a sacred ritual. And most importantly, you stopped explaining yourself to people who never deserved access to you in the first place. That's not just energy mastery. That's self-mastery. That's Stoicism alive and breathing inside you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or think or do. Only what you do. And that's your focus now. Not the noise outside, but the calm, intentional steps within." The world can't shake someone who doesn't flinch. Someone who speaks less and listens more. Someone who can witness chaos but choose peace. Someone who doesn't chase but attracts. Someone who doesn't explain but embodies. So carry this spirit into your next morning, your next week, and into your next chapter of life. Let people wonder what changed. Let them feel the shift. Let your silence do the talking. And always remember, your energy is your responsibility. When you protect it, you become someone who cannot be distracted, disturbed, or defeated. I want you to leave this final affirmation in the comments. I master my energy. I master my life. If this video brought you value, don't keep it to yourself. Like it, share it, comment your biggest takeaway, and subscribe for more powerful Stoic wisdom. Your journey has only just begun.